The Oklahoma Sooners did it. They pulled out the dub against Auburn in a way only Brent Venables would do it. Let's talk about it here on Locked On Sooners.
You are Locked On Sooners, your daily podcast on the Oklahoma Sooners. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome to Locked On Sooners. And hey, thank y'all for making Locked On Sooners your first listen every single day. Shout out to all the everyday areas out there for tuning in, subscribing to the show. I am not well right now. The Sooners pulled out a massive win, first win in SEC play this season, 24-17 over the Auburn Tigers. I am Jay Smith from Unfair Sports. You can follow me at Unfair Sports on social media. John is enjoying his evening. Go ahead and hop in the comments. Let us know how y'all feeling about this victory. What we're going to talk about is Sooners squeezing out the win over Auburn. John Mateer had a Heisman moment at the end on that final drive to be able to place himself in a situation where we're not going to be as stressed as we could be. And the defense was bending like crazy. And luckily, they didn't all the way break. So, yeah, that was a game. It was an emotional roller coaster. I don't know how I feel right now because my heart still has not started shaking. But at the same time, as y'all are mentioning here in the comments, it was definitely a win that was rough through a lot of parts of the game. But we did the necessary steps to win. A lot of penalties in this game. 13 on Auburn. 9 on us, 9 for 99 yards, 13 for 85 on them. They had the larger time of possession. They had 287 yards. We finished with 303 yards. So somehow we still finished with more yards than them, even though our offense struggled. We were 3 for 12 on third down. They were 3 for 15. But the biggest thing here is that the W happened. Neither team could really get the run game going or truly established. The pass game was good on the pops. But, hey, I got to give it to Jackson Arnold. He wasn't scared. He kept throwing the ball deep on the moments that Hugh Freeze gave him. But then we did the thing that we're supposed to do, which is we locked in. And when I say locked in, we locked in on that final drive. That was critical. The drive before it, I was over here stressing, pulling my hair out, shaking and everything, hoping we would do something. And we decided to provide it in the final drive instead. So it was very sloppy. I agree with all of your comments. It was sloppy. It was a tough watch. It was a tough game. But these are the type of games that teams that will compete for playoff bids, they win these games. They gut them out. Ones that you gut, ones that you show the most strain, as BV would say, ones that push the hardest. But overall, we figured out how to do it. And I know the biggest question in here, I had the same question statistically. It was kind of interesting. We finished this game with, what's this? Let me go ahead and pull this up so y'all can see it with me. We finished this with 32 rushing yards on 26 attempts, which was bad. They had 36 carries for 67 yards, which is just as bad. Neither team could figure out how to run in this game, like at all. It was like the wildest thing to me that neither one of us could figure out how to really establish a run game. And John Mateer really didn't try to run either. We didn't really see much out of him on that. And we'll talk about his Heisman moment in just a moment. But yeah, Auburn got really smart in their pass game. 220 yards, which the most we've given up this season. But I think that that's actually a good number. We didn't give up over 300 yards total, which to me still helps with our stats for the season, and only gave up 18 first downs. Overall, this team balled a little bit better than I thought when I look at it. But at the same time, I'm still stressed. And we lost a fumble. Like, I think the thing that got me is, and I think this is the one stat that I'm going to talk heavily on our defense, is they ain't got no turnovers this season so far, which is wild. But we had like 3 passes basically in our hands. The Kendall Daniels one still haunts me as I'm sitting here having this conversation with you all. I'm thinking about it over and over and over and over and over again. It's like, it's right there. It's just in your hands. And then Peyton Bowen did the perfect read on another pass that Jackson Arnold was doing, and he dropped it. And I was just like, that struggle. But that's the crazy part. I know a lot of people were asking this question, and this is the one question I'm seeing here in the comment section. A lot of people are wondering, I'm saying the same thing too. Why can't we run the ball? Get you, Bobby. I'm going to say this, though. We somehow figuring out how to pass protect, though. We gave up 1 sack in this game. Our defense got 10. Mateer had time. Mateer was able to do stuff. He moved around too, but the only thing that got me in this one is that he had 10 carries for 29 yards. He didn't really run. Like, we were not running good at all in this game. Torrey Blaylock and John Mateer were the only two that really was able to tuck and run, and the run blocking just was not there. But the pass blocking was there because Mateer had time. It's not the same thing we say for like Jackson Arnold. Whenever we put pressure on him, when our defense, we put pressure on him, we start to get those hits. We got those sacks. 10 sacks is massive. And we'll dive into that a little bit more in just a minute. But just the fact that we found a way to gut this game out and got the dub is probably the one thing that puts a smile on my face. It's the thing that satisfies me the most about the way this team played. I'm happier than I thought it would be, specifically because we gutted it out. These are the type of wins that, besides Auburn last year, we still got ownership stake in the state of Alabama, though. Just understand it. We still own half of the state. We'll probably hopefully get the other half later this year if everything in our offense and the way we play actually evolves and gets better. But survive and advance is the most important thing right now. I love this statement, Joy, because this is actually how we feel, Jay. Survive, advance. Survive, advance. Keep pushing. And Auburn is going to blame the refs. We can blame the refs too. There was so much holding going on inside those trenches that no one was calling. That was the one thing I noticed too. There was a lot of holding and nobody called it. So, but the good thing is that let me remind y'all on this. We still got players coming back. Giovanni Gibson as well as Eli Bowen were both warming up for this game. They didn't play, but they were warming up. So that means you'll probably see them Kent State. Not this week because the bye week coming up, but Kent State in 2 weeks, there's a very good chance you see both of them on the field, at least getting some snaps. And then we can try to figure out this defense because I'm going to say this. Some of you will not agree. But, and some of you are pointed out, Corlin Guillory was getting picked on the entire game. And that was probably one of the smartest strategies that Hugh Freeze had going into this game. He kept picking at the youngest player in the secondary, the one playing one-on-one against a very elite wide receiver. Cam Coleman's elite. Cam Coleman had 3 catches in this game for 88 yards and 1 touchdown. But he only had 3 catches in this game. We did luck out on a DPI from Gentry, but we only let them get 3 catches for 88 yards for Cam Coleman, who's a beast. But they missed him a lot. Like, he was open on a few plays. We got lucky that we knew who we were facing and we knew what was going to happen. So for Oklahoma, the biggest thing now is we need to lock in. We got to lock in. We got to lock in with this offense. We need to get some more chemistry going. But again, we get Giovanni Gibson is expected to be back soon. He wasn't on the availability report. He wasn't out. He wasn't doubtful. Neither him or Eli Bowen. So there's a very good chance you get 2 key components of this offense back in 2 weeks. And if they show up in 2 weeks and they start to look good, we may be back rolling. But I also want to remind everybody that John Mateer was the only one that came in here knowing this offense. It was going to take some time for them to get some chemistry. Unfortunately, it's taking us into the season for us to get good chemistry, but we are looking like a much better offense than we did last year. John Mateer, probably at the end of this game, I think he still leads the conference in passing yards, depending on how Taylor Green did today. I haven't seen his stats, but I think we're good. But the good thing is that the pass blocking is there. We got to figure out this run blocking, though. But we get 2 weeks. Hopefully that helps get everybody healthy, gets Fasusi healthy, gets Hito Zaida playing better, get some health when it comes to, like, Michael. I know he was dealing with an injury. Remember, we had 4 linemen dealing with some sort of ailment, and I think that now they're probably in a better spot. So from there, now it's time for us to look at what's coming next. I want to talk about this John Mateer Heisman moment. I know y'all may not believe it, but that final drive, because I want to read y'all how this drive went. For those that did watch it, we're just going to walk back through it because why? It was great. It felt like he was in command. It felt like he was calm. It felt like he realized that, all right, we got 7 minutes left, and this is what we need to do in order to win this game. Let's talk about that here on the other side here on Locked On Sooners. This video is brought to you by our partners over at FanDuel. The NFL season is here, and FanDuel is making sure you're ready for kickoff with a can't-miss offer. Right now, new customers can bet just $5. If your bet wins, you'll get $300 in bonus bets to use across the app. So, I mean, if you took Oklahoma -5.5 and -6.5, that safety at the end gave you 7 point. That was a spread cover. So I like doing that, in games that my team is not involved in because I like to add a little spice and excitement while I watch the game. And, I like to make sure my heart's always jumping for no apparent reason because I like ridiculous stress on myself. So are you ready to play? Download the FanDuel app now by visiting FanDuel.com to get started. That's FanDuel.com to face your first $5 bet. And thanks again for joining us here on Locked On Sooners and joining us for the post-game live. John's not with us today. It's just me. There's a lot of Auburn fans that are really, really upset. Just know that. They're going to blame the thank you for hitting the like button. I appreciate that. Tell everybody else to hit the like button too. Everybody over there was crying about, saying Oklahoma cheated or whatnot. But John Mateer had to me, Heisman moment in this game. And the way he had his Heisman moment was the way that he walked us down in the end. So again, as the fourth quarter started, we get the field goal. Then Auburn has a 7-minute drive, drives it down, gets that touchdown, which I'm just like, all right, hopefully these boys lock in. Hopefully they recognize that we're not going to let this happen to us. So let's go ahead and push. So from there, John Mateer took that ball. 7 minutes, 8 seconds left. Let's walk through the sequence, everybody. John Mateer passed to Deion Burks for a 9-yard gain. Then Mateer runs it for 4 yards, gets the first down. You're like, okay, 6 minutes and some change in there. Then he completes a pass to Satania, 7-yarder. Like, all right. Then he hits Jaren Kanak across the middle, which Kanak had another really good game in there. I'll talk about that in a minute. 15 yards to Kanak, another first down. Then he went out there with the kahunas, threw that ball deep to Satania, caught it, and Satania's been nails lately. I think he finished this game with 127 yards on 9 catches. Hey man, I thought that he had a chance to do it. But Satania with that 31-yard catch that was ruled a catch after they looked at it. Thank goodness. I'm glad they did us good. And then John Mateer said, get on my back, boys. I'm going to go ahead and extend my streak of touchdowns, a passing touchdown and a rushing touchdown in a game to 10 games. And that's what John Mateer did. He grabbed that bad boy, he ran in, got the touchdown. Yes, Locked On Auburn is also doing a live right now. So if you want to go support my guy, Zach, I know he's not very happy right now. He is not well at all because of what's going on. And so, yeah, we finished that bad boy out with that drive. And that was, to me, John Mateer, one of the many moments for John Mateer that could be considered a Heisman moment is you're down at home 1 point to a team that defensively is causing problems for you. And what you do, you put the team on your back, you take your time, and you go out there and you beat them. That's what he did. John Mateer said, I got you guys. I didn't run it like I did against Michigan, but I won't need to. I'm going to go ahead and pass this bad boy because Auburn does have a solid front seven. Their secondary is young, and you can pick on them, especially in the quick pass. That's the one thing that DJ Durkin has been weak at. And what we do, we exploited it. We went right after it at the most important part of the game. So I'm 100% proud of the way that we did that. Shout out to Ben Arbuckle for recognizing that's your hole, that's your gap. Go after it. And yeah, we executed on something that we've all been stressed out about. Now, we didn't run well. I mean, like I said, when I looked at the numbers on the run game, we were not very good on the run. We finished 26 carries, 32 yards, Mateer's touchdown, but only two players that ran the ball got positive yards, Mateer and Torrey Blaylock. At some point, we got to figure this out. Granted, we should be healthier, We should be healthy soon, but whenever we get healthy, we should be able to go in there and get better on the run. That's where the struggle's coming in. We got to get better at that. But hey, the good thing for me is, and the good thing for us is, we won the game. It's all that matters. We won the game. And so, of course, I'm losing my mind on this. John Mateer gives us a Heisman moment. Shout out to the wide receivers, too. They did a good job of finding ways to catch it. Now, we had some drops that were a little stinky, but Satania made up for a lot of the stuff that we were bothered with him. A second 100-yard game. I think this is his second one in a row. Let me verify. I believe he had 97 yards against Temple, 127 in this game. So he's becoming a massive weapon for John Mateer, specifically because we know everyone's going to key in on Deion Burks. Now they have to pay attention to multiple receivers. Keontez Lewis got to play, even coming off of that concussion. That's good news to see. Oh yeah, the only other thing that I can say that I feel really good about, we left this game borderline unscathed. It appears that Owen Heineke hurt his thumb. I saw him tackle somebody, and I saw him kind of holding his thumb like this, and we looked to the side, and they ended up bringing somebody in. So that, to me, is kind of the only thing I say kind of concerns me, because he's been nails as a linebacker, so I'm very impressed with who he is. But, hey, Mateer overall, and I agree with this. This is a very good statement here. Mateer does need to climb the pocket better. He needs to step in. Can't wait to rewatch this game later tonight. So yeah, he was on it. I mean, I hear you. I hear you. I say, and I can say this about that because he is that good. He's that good, regardless of penalties and all that. He's that good. He did a really good job of leveraging his skills and getting the penalties while at the same time but at the same time, he still only finished with 3 catches. That's a big deal. Because Cam Coleman is good. Like, if y'all ever, I talked about him as a true freshman. I talked last year. Even some of y'all were mad at me because I said that I hope that he gets like a stomach bug and not be able to play because I don't want to go against him. He's that talented. I know how good he is. And he was balling. Like, I can't do anything about that. He was balling, and he was very hard to catch. Eric Singleton, who was one that I was also wondering who was going to step out. Defense did a good job of taking care of it. He got 9 catches. We only got 60 yards. We did a good job of slowing him down, but Cam Coleman caught 2 deep passes and then that touchdown. He had a big game in theory, but we could have done better. And I'm going to talk about the defense more in just a second. I want to kind of give some flowers to this offense because the defense deserves a lot of flowers. And we're going to talk about that even more on the other side before we wrap up. But I'm just satisfied with the fact that we were able to get some long drives, and we had, what was this? 1, 2, 3, 4. We had 5 3-and-outs. And our defense was doing a good job of forcing some 3-and-outs or some punts. Especially third quarter. We won the third quarter by getting that field goal, taking the lead, and then driving it in the fourth, getting the 6-point lead, that touchdown we gave up. Yeah. That was just, that drive was a struggle, but the good thing is the final drive defense, we'll talk about in a sec. The defense was definitely the MVP of this game. But overall, though, John Mateer, this is what you paid him for. Put the team on his back, go down there, and win it. Both defenses really showed out, so I can't even be upset. But Mateer going for 271 helps me a lot. We'll figure it out. We were working in this game. They made us work. And yeah, I know everybody's gonna ask about Jaden Ott, man. I don't know. I'm just gonna say I don't know. Mainly because I don't know. It just, yeah. It appears that it ain't gonna work. It ain't a situation that's gonna work. That's really it. And if it ain't gonna work, then we need to move on. But to me, I'm here for this. A win is a win. I like W's. And if you can squeak these out, survive, advance. Survive, advance, which is big. We balled out in a way that we needed to ball out. Okay. Now I got to talk defense. And now I'm going to gush about them for a long while. Why? Because, man, how impressed was y'all with the defense? Let's talk about them right now here on Locked On Sooners postgame. This episode is brought to you by Square, your favorite neighborhoods run on Square. These are certain businesses that truly make the neighborhood feel like home, whether it's the local sports bar packed on game days, the coffee shop you know is your order by heart, or the corner deli that's been serving your community for decades. These are places that bring people together. When neighborhood businesses thrive, the whole neighborhood thrives. And so Square has a bunch of places in Oklahoma, like, one place that I know I have hit up a few times is like the Zoo Amphitheater. Go listen to some music and hit up their gift shop. They've always got some good stuff. And there's like a Cafe Evoke, local little cafe. Give them some love. Or My Barbecue and Grill. You never know if that's a good spot for you to, watch some balls. So Square is a proud partner of more than 4 million neighborhood businesses around the world. You can go to square.com/go/Locked On College to learn more. But before you do, go support your favorite neighborhood spot. You'll be happy you did. Square, see you in the neighborhood. And thanks again for joining us for another post-game live here on Locked On Sooners. Your team every day. Okay, I'm feeling better now. I'm not as stressed out. We got to talk about that last drive. The last one that we did. I mean, not the last one where we had 2 plays for -3 yards because we downed it for 1 minute and 6 seconds. Talking about that defensive stance. The defense did everything we hoped they would and more. Our Mason Thomas, we lost him in the first half, and we felt it. We felt missing him while at the same time had like 6 sacks in the first half, and then we finished up with an additional 4 to close the game out. And that last drive was chef's kiss. Shout out to you, the fans. You were loud. You were proud. You were making all the noise that was needed to be made. You were losing your minds. And because you were loud, proud, and losing your minds, guess what? We won the game because of it. So the defense, of course, give up a couple runs, give up a big pass, and then we started pushing them back. Because the crowd was chirping so loud, penalties started happening. You had the 10-yard penalty, you had a 5-yard penalty. Jackson Arnold gets hit for no yards. You get a sack by Grayson Halton. And then you get the R. Mason Thomas, who's the closer. It feels like I'm honestly, it would have been more poetic justice or more cinema if Kip Lewis got that final sack, got that safety and closed it out. That'd have been the second time Kip Lewis would have taken his ownership stake into the state of Alabama and taken Auburn by storm, but he did not. It was not him, but it was R. Mason Thomas, who missed the first half of it, came in there, finished out with his 2 sacks on the game. The BV stat, if you know me, you know I talk about the BV stat, which is the tackles for loss. 14 tackles for loss in this game. Can't beat that. That, my friends, was good stuff. And then you got the 10 sacks to go with the Jaden Jackson cooking. Who's excited about Jaden Jackson? Who was excited about him? Man, he got 2.5 sacks. That's more than he had. Like, he surpassed his number last season in just this game. 2.5 sacks. And I told y'all that I thought that he was going to be that dude that was going to be, is going to lead this team in sacks, because he's going to be the one that teams are going to borderline overlook. And yeah, I'm not going to say 100% there, but this is a good point here. That first half suspension, yeah, may have been a blessing in disguise, because he had some fresh legs and he looked like it. I don't think he came out of the game either. He was attacking the entire time. So he got his 2 sacks in this game, which of course that's now 2 more in SEC play and proving a good point. David Stone got himself an SEC sack and a tackle for loss. He was all over the place, especially in that last drive. That tackle for loss he got against Jackson Arnold trying to run, which was everything y'all wanted and more. We did some good stuff, man. David Stone was all over the place. The entire interior. Dominic Williams got himself a sack. I know a lot of people's asked why he ain't got no sacks. He got one. Taylor Wine was out there forcing some stuff. Marvin Jones Jr. got one. Owen Heineke got one. Grayson Halton, of course, gets one right before the R. Mason Thomas safety. And then Kip gets a half one with Jaden Jackson based upon that. But that entire defensive front played tough. They played so good. And I am very impressed with the fact that we did that. This really was a Brent Venables legacy game. This was a game that he had to close out. This was a game that was needed. And I've already gotten some texts that people are telling me that the fans, y'all were loud, y'all were proud, and y'all did it. Y'all did it as fans. Y'all did it very well. Y'all went out there and y'all were loud. Y'all probably set more decibel records. Y'all did a great job of making sure that things were hard for Auburn. Like in the middle parts, I think third quarter it was solid, but a little bit later, closer to fourth, that's when you start to see the energy raise back up. And you start to see all the fans start to really get loud, and you start to see some penalties. Yeah, a lot of those penalties that Auburn got, was because of false starts from y'all. They were messing up. Like, it was some drives where y'all would get louder and louder, and they would false start because of the fans. And that's something that we've got to applaud you all on, that y'all were doing it. And so we closed it out. The most important thing for us is the fact that we did it. And this is a good point, Riley. Yes, this is a new record, 10 sacks in a game. Now, I say this all the time. Sacks is a quarterback stat. I just want y'all to keep that in mind, because us getting that many sacks in this game is not ironic. That is kind of how we kind of expected it, if you want me to be honest. Now, BV had some moments where he started to cut back on the aggression because of fear with like Cortland Guillory. Let's talk about him. I know some of you are probably down on him, and I totally get it, just on the surface. But that's what happens when you're a true freshman and they're going to pick on you with a very fast and talented receiver. We were biting on stuff. Devon Jordan got caught biting on a move by Cam Coleman. Cortland Guillory got caught, a few times in the cookie jar. And the good thing is that he kept fighting. That's the one thing I will give to Cortland Guillory. And I'll probably talk even deeper when I do my morning after tomorrow and rewatch it and really pay attention to some of his plays. I felt like he played as good as he probably could as a true freshman who's going against one of the best wide receivers in the conference, if not country. He did good. Like some of those catches Cam were making too, you're like, dang, that was a good catch. He's going to have some growing pains, unfortunately, especially as he's going against more elites. But the good thing is he's one of those dudes that has a very, very short memory. And because he has a short memory, he's not going to be out there sulking about it. He's going to keep fighting. He's going to point out some stuff. He's going to be like, hey, man, ref, can I get a call too? But for the most part, he's going to go out there and he's going to continue to fight every single play. And that, to me, is the most important thing. That is the most critical thing that you can get out of this, is you need a dude that, regardless of how it goes, that he doesn't get down on himself and he continues to fight. And Cortland Guillory is one of those dudes. So I know some people are down on him. And like I said, it's okay to be down on it a little bit because it was a struggle. We were getting our butts kicked on the deep one with him. But I said it on the Friday show. This was a money game. This is where scouts are looking at how you defend elite wide receivers. And luckily, their quarterback helped us a little bit too, because he was off target on a lot of stuff they shouldn't have been off target on. But that was expected. We gave that buffer in there. And it's funny because even as I talk more about the defense, Jeremiah Cobb finished with 6 carries, 61 yards, 10 yards a carry. And that was because he had a 44-yard run. Jackson Arnold finished with 21 carries for negative 11 yards. Negative 11. That's because of all those 10 sacks that we got. We did a good job of containing. Period. We did as much as we possibly could in the run game. I put it this way. This is how you know you did well. Is if you force a team to completely conform and change their game plan because you were cooking them. You were forcing them to do different. And our entire goal in this game was to make Jackson Arnold throw. He threw it 33 times in this game. And when I look at it, let me verify this real quick, because if I'm correct, that's one of the most, that's pretty high for him this year. Actually, it is. It's the most that he's thrown this season. 21, 32, 220. He was 24 for 28 against Ball State. Ball ain't a state. He threw 24 passes against USA, University of South Alabama, and he threw the ball 17 times against Baylor. And when we came into this game, the thing that we said that we needed to do to Jackson Arnold was, you are not going to run all over us. 21 carries, Negative 11 yards was the final number. That is the most important thing. He played a solid game. Like he played like he played for us in, I'd say, the Houston game. That's the effort that I felt like we got out of him. And like I said, no shade on him. It felt like the Houston game. And in the Houston game, he threw it 32 times for 174 yards, 2 touchdowns. But he was 19 for 32 instead of 21 for 32. So his completion percentage was higher in this game, but in the Houston game, he played good. We won that game 16-12 because the defense was able to contribute, but we did what we needed to do to force them to use Jackson Arnold for mostly everything. He wasn't going to get the touchdowns that he wanted. So we gave up our first passing touchdown. I got to go into somebody's comment section today and say, all right, y'all was right. Y'all did get a touchdown because I said that we was going to try to hold them to 3 field goals. That's what I thought we were going to be able to do. But we didn't. And that's okay. What we did, though, was we went out there and we push. And yeah, of course, this is exactly what they're going to do. They're going to use the algorithm and say, oh, we got screwed in this game. We shouldn't have lost this game. The refs took this away from us. That is going to be that's going to be their mindset after this game. It's the only way that they're going to be able to handle it is they're going to say that they were screwed out of it instead of saying that they lost the game. Because, I mean, there were some calls that the refs could have got on our side too, but we didn't get very many holding calls that we should have gotten. There was a lot more. They were pulling. And they were pulling for why? Because they had to. They couldn't stop us. So, yeah, they're going to say it. They're complaining. That's 100% it. I'm going to go over there and see what he's talking about. I'm going to go ahead and hit him with the like and everything because, if they're actually done streaming. I think he jumped off right afterwards with the robbed. Love it. So let us know what y'all think. Hop in the comments when you hear your thoughts. Yeah, I mean, I follow up. That's exactly what I would say. I'm looking at some of y'all's comments. I would let them know we got 10 sacks in this game, buddy. And I promise you it wasn't because of the refs at all. We need to up our third down conversions. I agree. But again, I will give respect. Auburn's defense, their front seven is actually pretty solid. They're not great. They're solid. And their secondary is what's questionable. We just weren't attacking them. We attacked them. We realized that they were playing back. They basically put on the Baylor defense. They were basically letting anything underneath go, and that's what we started eating them up, which is perfect. And they got away with a ton of holds. I'm gonna talk about that too. That's one thing that I know that they did. So we appreciate y'all pulling up. Me and John. I have a morning after. He'll give you his thoughts first thing in the morning. You can check out my channel over at Unfair Sports. I will talk about do my morning after like I do every single week. I'm going to go watch the game later tonight, look at some things, make sure I get some things right, and we're going to talk deep on that. And our Mason Thomas, this is a money game. He definitely put himself on the map even more because he got 2 sacks in a game against an offensive line that people say is arguably one of the better ones in the SEC. 10 sacks, though, tells you everything. Thank you all for pulling up. For your next listen, make sure you check out our people over there at the college football kickoff show. It's another big moment for Locked On. College football fans, Locked On and Fire TV presents College Football Kickoff, your ultimate college football weekly preview. Drake Toll, Locked On Big 12, leads the conversation alongside 2-time AP Coach of the Year, Gary Patterson, former college star Jesse Holley, and all of our Locked On experts. You may see me on there occasionally. A college football preview only Locked On can do. So catch College Football Kickoff every Thursday throughout the season only on Fire TV. And for John Williams, you can follow him at John 9 Williams and read his work over at Sooners Wire. He's probably got an article up right now. I'm Jay Smith. Check out my channel, Unfair Sports, here on YouTube with me and my guy Coop on the Sooner or Later Sports Podcast. We will dive really deep into the outcome of this game. So for John, I'm Jay. I will see you all Monday morning. Y'all have a good weekend.